Hare Krishna, welcome devotees to the Gita Daily session. So, thanks for joining daily. So, today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, verse number 7. So, let's take the blessings of the Lord, Jagannath Baldev Subhadramaya Sudarshan, Lakshmi Narsimhaya Gaurnitaya Panchatattva. Let's pray that by their blessings we shall understand the spiritual topics. So, let's recite the prayers. Om Adnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी भाषातिरेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's dedicate our session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. By his tireless effort, he has spread Bhagavad Gita knowledge throughout the world. And also, he has presented Bhagavad Gita in a way that is easy and practical for us to apply. So let's thank Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we'll be discussing 8th chapter 7th verse. Let's recite the shloka. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मर्य युध्य च मय्यर्पिता मनो बुद्धिर्मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम् रेपिटेशन् तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मर्य युध्य च मय्यर्पिता मनो बुद्धिर्मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम् Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed upon me, you will attain me without doubt. Word to word meaning Tasmat, therefore, Sarveshu at all, Kaleshu times, Mam, me, Anusmara, go on remembering, Yudhya, fight, Cha also, Mai, unto me, Arpita, surrendering, Mana, mind, Buddhi, intellect, Mam, unto me, Eva, surely, Evashasi, you will attain, Eshasi, Asamshaya, beyond doubt. Let's read the translation again. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed upon me, you will attain me without doubt. So, we'll set the context. We were discussing, now we started discussing the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is known as attaining the Supreme. So, in this chapter, actually, Krishna is imparting to Arjuna the most important knowledge of how to attain the Lord, or how actually we can attain the final success, or how one can become perfect. So in the last session, we discussed the two very important shlokas of Ande Narayana Smriti. So what is the importance of remembering the Lord at the time of death, right? So we saw that how the entire life is like an exam, and the death is our entire life is like a preparation, and death is the final exam. So the whole life actually we are preparing for the final moment of death, right? And Krishna says that अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं ये प्रयारे समद्भावं याज्ञास्तत्र संशय यं यं वा विस्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवेति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभाविता. So what it actually means, the two shlokas. First shloka, Lord says that whoever remembers the Lord at the time of death, they will surely attain the Lord or the Lord's abode. And whatever state of consciousness one quits his body, right? He attain that state, which means our next body is determined by what actually we'll remember at the time of death, right? So basically the sum total of all our consciousness or all our vasanas or impressions, desires, all these things culminate at the time of death, right? And according to that consciousness, we will be attached to some things, and then we will try to remember that at the time of death. So so unless and until we practice throughout our life properly, right, aligning our consciousness to that of the Lord, actually we there's a huge risk of missing the opportunity of this valuable human life that we got after many millions of lives. Like 84 lakh species of different varieties of bodies are available from given by Maya, and we take one after another, right? And once after very long time we get a human body. So it's a very crucial moment, in our existence. So if we practice bhakti or devotional to the Lord throughout our life, then there is a chance that no, we will be able to remember the Lord. So this is the essence of the last session, and today we'll be continuing the same theme. So here Krishna actually is concluding about this particular topic, saying that because of this, whatever we understood, because of the importance of remembering the Lord at the time of death, so Krishna is telling Arjuna, Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmaridja mayarpida manobuddhir mame vaishya samshaya. So Krishna is saying that Tasma, therefore Arjuna, always remember me. Sarveshu kaleshu, always. Mam anusmarya, you remember me. And Yuddhacha. So here very important point about Arjuna is Yuddhacha. So we have seen in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, the context is that Arjuna actually is reluctant to fight the battle of Kurukshetra because he sees that all the people who are assembled in front of him are his relatives, friends, etc. And he felt that he will incur sin by killing them. But what is Arjuna Krishna's message? Krishna says that already all these people are already determined to be killed. Right? You've just become an instrument in my hand. So the Lord has a big plan, right? We cannot understand with our tiny brains what is the Lord's plan. So whenever we align to the Lord's plan, so sometimes the Lord is directly present. Like in case of Arjuna, he is directly present and he is instructing Arjuna. But otherwise, for us, like normal souls, it is very difficult to get Lord's guidance directly. So we have to depend on the spiritual master. So the spiritual master is a representative of the Lord. And when we follow the instructions of the acharyas and the spiritual master, then we are following the instructions of Krishna. So the context is that so Arjuna is reluctant and Krishna is actually encouraging him to fight because that is what actually the Lord desires, because he has accumulated all the sinful people, right, and the battle of Kurukshetra, and he want to annihilate them and re-establish Dharma. So this is the Lord's plan. So, so what actually here important for us? Arjuna is actually a grihastha, right? Arjuna is not a sannyasi or an ancient, right? Arjuna is a grihastha, he's a family man, and he's also a military man. So for Arjuna, as a grihastha, his duty is to fight actually because he is a kshatriya, right? So similarly for us, how do we relate with us? So we have different responsibilities. Many of us, like or almost everybody of us, are grihasthas, right? So so we have family responsibilities. We have to take care of the family, right? We have to take care of the children's education. We have to take care of our spouse. We have to take care of our parents, in-laws. So all these responsibilities are there as a grihastha. So what Krishna is instructing Arjuna is Krishna is not telling that Arjuna, you leave all these things and go to the forest and meditate upon me. He is not telling Arjuna that. So he's telling Arjuna, being grihastha, you do your duty, which is fight. But at the same time, remember me always. No, me conscious of me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmaridja. So remembering me, you fight Arjuna. So that means that you should be in the consciousness. No, basically there are two things to understand. One is that so remembrance means in a practical way we can try to remember the Lord wherever possible, throughout the day. And otherwise, if you're able to remember the Lord in the morning, let's say in the beginning of the day, like for example, we hear the session or we chant the holy names. So that actually remembrance will be there in the consciousness. It will be as an impression, it will remain in the consciousness. So in the rest of the day, sometimes because of the busy nature of work, even if you are not able to remember the Lord, but our consciousness is already aligned to the Lord. So in case of Arjuna, Arjuna is a farrier. No, he has to fight. So he has to have 100% focus on the battle. Right? Even if a moment carelessness can cause his life. So that means that Arjuna may not be always remembering Krishna in that literal way, but actually he is already conscious of the Lord. His consciousness is already aligned by meditation. So then actually that consciousness is remaining with Arjuna throughout his fight. So this way we have to try to, our consciousness has to be aligned, or always consciousness has to be purified by the remembrance of the Lord, which actually is mainly achieved by chanting of the holy names. Right. So the point, the essential me point is that whatever state we are, I mean to say, whatever responsibilities we have. So in the Varnashrama system, we have the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, right? And then there is the different ashramas are there, like Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So in the Varnashrama system, there is a Varna and Ashrama. So according to the Varna and Ashrama, the person has different responsibilities. So the point is that we can continue in our ashrama, right, and varna, and execute and remember the Lord. So this remembrance of the Lord and executing bhakti doesn't need any qualification. It is not, no, Krishna says in Bhagavatam, there is a shloka, not by Krishna, but it says that even a person who is very low born, even he's a dog eater or a chandala, or any respect to the varna and ashrama, anybody can take up this process of holy name, chanting the holy name, or bhakti process. So there's no qualification required, right? And you can remain in your the responsibilities, and at the same time make progress. Of course, actually, the progress, the speed of the progress will depend on our dedication and our surrender to the Lord, right? So, so accordingly, for us, at this point of time, whatever actually we are trying to learn, it is sufficient to understand that it is not necessary to give up our responsibilities, right? We can continue executing our responsibilities, but at the same time, remember the Lord. And the next point is that Mayarpida Manobuddhir. So Krishna is saying that you surrender your mind and intelligence upon me. So what it means, so surrendering the mind means like remembering the Lord always, right? The mind actually is always thinking about different things, right? The mind actually is the reservoir of all our past impressions. So the mind always gives us different options, right? Do this, do that, like that. So when we actually remember the Lord, right, then the mind becomes controlled. Then intelligence, how do you apply the buddhi on the Lord? So the intelligence is essentially, the faculty by which actually we take decisions, right? So what is right, what is wrong, right? So this intelligence is deciding. So what is the intelligence we are? How do we apply our intelligence to the Lord? Is very simple. So basically, whatever activity or thoughts, that actually comes to our mind, we have to always analyze whether this activity or this thought, is it favorable for me to make progress in my spiritual path, right? If it is favorable, then actually we should accept that. And if the activity or the thought is not favorable, if it takes away from Krishna, then actually we should reject. So this way the intelligence can be applied. So this way Krishna is expecting Arjuna to use surrender his mind and intelligence. So when we are not surrendered, when our mind and intelligence is not surrendered, then we are like a free bird, right? Actually, like, the mind will keep on giving us various options, various thoughts, right, various ideas continuously. And then if we follow, if we become servant of the mind, right, then actually we'll be keep on following the mind, right? And then we will keep on becoming more and more entangled in the cycle of, in the samsara chakra, right? But on the other hand, if the mind and intelligence is surrendered to the Lord, then actually our decisions and actions, will be aligned in such a way that, we make progress in spiritual life. So there is like Godas, right? Like Godas means the servant of the senses, right? So actually we should not become, a servant of the senses, but we should become a master of the senses. That can only be possible when we surrender to the Lord. So these are some of the key points, that Lord actually is giving Arjuna. So, and then one last point is that asamshaya, again it is used. So the Lord actually used the word asamshaya in only very few occasions in Bhagavad Gita. So here actually also the Lord is emphasizing or stressing that there should not be any doubt about this Arjuna. So in the previous sloka also we saw that, how by remembering the Lord actually we will attain the Lord. Krishna is saying there also, Krishna says that do not doubt. Here also Krishna says actually, without doubt. So these shlokas are very, very important actually. They are like the gems, that actually we can get from Bhagavad Gita. So, Krishna is assuring Arjuna that there should not be any doubt. If you surrender your mind and intelligence to the Lord, and if you always remember Krishna, right, then actually there should not be any doubt that you will attain me. So this is essence. So what is the practical, thing we can implement in our life is that the process of bhakti actually start with Shravanam and Kirtanam, right? Shravanam means hearing, like for example you are hearing this class, or we should hear from the senior devotees, right, or pure devotees of the Lord, so we should hear the lectures, whenever possible we should take their association. Then Shravanam will be followed by Kirtana, which is the chanting of the holy name. So the process which is given by Lord directly in Kali Yuga, right, when Lord came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave this process of chanting of the holy name. So the chanting is very powerful, which actually can purify our consciousness. And when we are regularly chanting with intensity and focus, then our consciousness becomes purified, and also our consciousness will actually have the impressions of the Lord, or the of the remembrance of the Lord. So the chanting actually will cause us to remember the Lord. So that's why we should know the chanting is the most important activity in our devotional life. So when we chant every day, like let's say we start the day with the chanting of the holy name, then that impression will remain throughout our day, right? Or whatever spiritual activity we do in the morning, that will carry throughout the day. So that will help us to be, to be in conscious Krishna consciousness, right? So this way, we actually practically, when we apply it in our life, actually we should take up the process of chanting very, very seriously, right? So that actually, we are able to remember the Lord at the time of death. So the ultimate purpose of all the activities that we do, right, should be such a way that actually it makes our consciousness, purified, and also we are always able to remember the Lord. We become Krishna conscious, so that at the moment of death, naturally, the thoughts, the remembrance of the Lord will come, right? So this way, actually, we should. Krishna is telling Arjuna that how one should execute his day-to-day life, right? So that actually they can finally remember the Lord, at the crucial moment of death. So what are some of the related verses we'll see? So in 9.34, Krishna says, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mami vaishyasya yuktavam atmanam matparayanam. So Krishna says, engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So this is a very similar verse actually. Krishna is saying that how always we should remember the Lord. It is not that actually whenever there is a problem we remember. No, that is not the ideal scenario. We should always remember the Lord, whether irrespective of whether we are happy, whether we are in distress, right? Always try to remember the Lord. Then Krishna says in 9.27, Yat karoshi yadatna ashnashi, yat juhoshi dadasi, yat tapasyasya kaunteya, tat kurushvamadarpanam. What it means, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that. O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So this is also very important. So how we can offer everything to the Lord. So when we are working, some many of us work in office, or we may do business, or we do work at home. So we may become busy. No, but actually, so what? How do we offer our results? The results of our work actually is the fruits that we get. So if you work in a company or an office, you get a salary, which is the result. So if you are not able to always remember the Lord, even if you are able to offer the results like a part of our, saving to the Lord, in the sense, use it in service of the Lord. So Krishna actually is the proprietor of everything. Bhoktaram yadna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. He doesn't need money. But actually, when we use our money in the service of Lord, right, then that actually the results become purified, the activity become purified. So we can use the money in a way that actually it is helping other devotees. So for example, in preaching, so our movement is a preaching mission, right? So for preaching, or for building a temple, right, or distributing prasadam, so there is money required. So when we offer the results like our money or some part of our income to actually the Krishna conscious activity, then the entire, the income become purified. So we don't get a reaction, because otherwise actually whatever work we do and whatever results we get, there is a reaction, karmic reaction. It may be good or bad, which actually binds us. So this is one way also, of purifying the activity. So then also Krishna says actually, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Matchitta Sarva Durgani Mat Prasada Tarishri. So what it says that if you always remember, if you always become conscious of me, right, then Krishna says, Arjuna, you will pass over all the obstacles of your life. So this is applicable for us also. So in our day-to-day life, we face so many difficulties, so many challenges comes, right? We go through so many difficult situations. So sometimes, we don't know what to do. We become completely confused. We become bewildered. So what Lord is saying, that if you always remember the Lord, right, in all, in all circumstances, like in our difficulties also. So Krishna is not saying that, no difficulties will come in our life. So it is a very important point to understand that just because we become a devotee of the Lord, that doesn't mean that no, we become completely, no, like there won't be any problems in life. The problems will may come, because sometimes the problems are required for our purification. So Krishna is saying that whatever problems or difficulties may come in your life, you will be able to easily pass through them, pass over them, right? So this is also a practical way. This is also very important actually, right? So Krishna says that you always remember me and always be conscious of me. Then Arjuna, all the obstacles in your life, all the difficulties, situations which comes in our life, we will be able to cross over it. So this is what actually the Lord is assuring. So we'll look at the example of revisit the example of Prahlad Maharaj, who actually is an ideal example of remembrance. So we have the 9 process of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So there are 9 processes. So these processes are given by Prahlad Maharaj. Maranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Um, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are the 9 processes of now with the bhakti. So in that actually Prahlad Maharaj is considered as the ideal example of Smaranam. Because from a small age, he actually, because he heard the instructions of Narad Muni, which is given to his mother, Kayadu, right? When Hiranyakashipu went for the performing the tapasya, right, to attain power, no, if you want to become the ruler of the entire creation. So during this time, Narad Muni instructed Kayadu because she was helpless. And Prahlad Maharaj heard these instructions while he was in the womb of his mother. Right? So that actually, that by that pure association of Narad Muni, pure devotee, Prahlad became a very great devotee of the Lord. So from a small age, he was always remembering the Lord. Right? Always, he did not have any other activity, always thinking about the Lord. And not only that, he also preached, about the glories of the Lord to his friends. So he was born in a family of asuras, and so he had to undergo a lot of difficulties because whenever Hiranyakashipu was very much against Lord Vishnu, and his intention was to kill Vishnu. So when he came to know that Prahlad was a devotee of Vishnu, he became very angry. No, and then he tried to do everything to kill him. Right, so he tried poisoning him. Then he put him into a pit of snakes, so venomous snakes. Then he tried to trample him with the elephants. Then he used weapons to kill him. Then he put him in the fire. No, we know that story of Holika, right? And then he put him in wind and rain. He threw it from the top of mountain, right? So he tried to use black magic. So all different things, Hiranyakashipu tried to do to kill his son Prahlad. But every time, he became failure. So how Prahlad could go through all these difficulties, because he was always chanting the holy name of Lord, and he was always remembering, the Lord. So every time the Lord protected um Prahlad Maharaj. So, so this is a very good example of how actually one can always remember the Lord, right? And if we are able to apply even to a small extent to in our day-to-day life, then actually we can also pass through all the obstacles of our life, and then in the end, we'll be able to remember the Lord at the time of death, and then we can get free from the cycle of birth and death. Not only that, we get the topmost abode of the Lord, right? We can reach the Lord's abode, and also we can exchange. We can be in one of the loving exchanges with the Lord, and serve the Lord eternally. So this is the ultimate success of our life. So coming, we'll try to wrap up, or we'll see what are the key points. So from a practical perspective, we can apply in our day-to-day life, right? No, start our day with actually a spiritual activity, right? So we can start chanting the holy name if you're not already chanting the holy name. So at least stand a few rounds every day in the morning, right? So that actually creates our consciousness, which we can carry throughout the day. Then whatever activity we are doing, whether we are walking, we are driving, we are cooking at home, or no, we are working at office. So try to always remember the Lord somewhere or other. So we can hear some lectures, when we are doing other activities, like except office work, we may not be able to do, but other activities like we are doing going for a walk or driving, we can hear the lectures, or we can hear a kirtan. So try to do some activity by which we will remain connected to the Lord. So, no, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. So he says that I am the taste of water. So, for example, when we drink the water, no, if you are able to remember, okay, this sweet taste of water is coming from the Lord. So there is some way, using our intelligence, we can always connect our activity to the Lord. Then in the family, actually, we should cultivate this habit. Try to come together, right? Execute devotional service together, right? We can pray together. If we are doing arati at home, we can do it together. We can do chanting together, eating prasadam. So come together and try to keep the Lord at the center, so that no all the family members, if everybody is executing devotional service, then it will be very easy to make progress in our life, right? Everybody is aligned. So in work, actually, as I mentioned, yesterday also we discussed, try to remember the Lord at in the work, right? Like I mentioned, right, we can keep a photo, picture of the Lord, or have the picture of the Lord as our mobile desktop screen, right? Whenever we get some time in between, try to read some verses, or try to remember the Lord in various ways. So try to be connect. No, don't lose our connection with the Lord, right? In all our activities, whatever extent possible, try to remember the Lord and connect to the Lord. So this way, if you practice every day, right, then this practice will build our consciousness, in our lifetime, and then automatically at the time of the final exam, right, we will remember the Lord without any difficulty. So this way we can perfect our life. So with that, I think we end come to the end of our time. So if anybody wants to leave at this moment, they can leave. If somebody has a question, they can unmute and ask. Hare Krishna. If no questions other, then we will end here. We'll meet again tomorrow. So, like as always, I request everybody, please encourage your friends or relatives who could be maybe interested in attending these sessions, and also try to pull back the people who have stopped attending the session. If you can do that, will be great service to Prabhupada and Acharya. So, Lord will be very much pleased if you help others also, in the process of the spiritual path, so that they also can become free from cycle of birth and death. Okay, with that I think we'll end. Thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare